Welcome to the Monday Method. I'm your host, Liz Mayer, life, career, and business coach, and I am obsessed with helping you create the life you love so you stop living for the weekends and start loving your Mondays. This show is dedicated to you women who do it all, from building careers to building families to becoming the version of yourself you love. This show provides you with the tools to get you off the hamster wheel of burnout so you can give what matters in your life the best of you, not the rest of you. Are you ready to create a life so good you look forward to Mondays? Then let's go. Well, hello, friend. Welcome back to the show. I don't know if it's the news lately or the general sense of despair, but as I talk to my clients in general, these female, badass, ambitious clients, there is this overwhelming sense of frustration and almost a loss of hope when it comes to really creating the career that they want, getting the money they want, or even quite frankly, just to stop working for jerks. And that feeling of overwhelm is often marked by this belief that the system is broken, that the places of employment that they work for is broken, and they ultimately believe that this consistent barrier in the workplace, which they've encountered, which by the way, do completely exist, are creating barriers so immense for them that they don't believe that they're ever going to rise to the level that they want within their career or to make the money that they want, that they ultimately are striving for in the first place. So in today's episode, I'm going to share what you can do if you are dealing with a broken system, and ultimately how to overcome the dysfunction of an environment you're in so you can be the most confident version of you. That version who creates the life you want, gets the growth that you want, makes the money you want, and fill in the blank, okay? And it's important that you ultimately win in this work environment because on average, people spend roughly 1/3 of their lives, that's about 90,000 hours, at work. So it's critical that you spend this time there in a way that is worth the effort, that is worth the energy, and supports you and what you want out of your one precious life. Just because I am here telling you how to overcome these obstacles does not mean that I haven't experienced them myself, okay? I'm sure it's not surprising that as an outspoken woman, you can assume that I've had my fair share of bosses telling me to play the backfield, even when it came to advocating for my own team. I've been told to give my work to others to present. I've been passed over for promotions, and there's often been times where I had asked why I didn't get a role, and I was explained to that on one instance that the company needed more manpower, literally, because of the maternity leaves. So I get it. These biases are not things that are just made up in our heads, okay? However, even though there are workplace issues, even though as women we still face bias, we still are underpaid, and we still have to deal with workplace nonsense that should have been left behind in the years ago, like cargo pants, by the way. But here we are. And what I'm here to do is remind you of your power. And I am going to give you the tools to overcome the obstacles that you might be facing, whether it's today or whether it's a couple years from now. And you, as a leader, and the women behind you, or the daughters and sons that are watching you, are going to change because they're going to see you stepping in to your power. Because here's the truth: women who speak up more get more money, get more opportunities, have less burnout, and ultimately light the path for others to do the same. And I got more proof in this episode that I'm going to share with you today. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the barriers you might be experiencing, how to overcome them. And I'm going to provide you with evidence that there is power that you have that you just need to tap into, and give you some tips on how to speak up without feeling inauthentic or cringy. And if any of what I am sharing in this episode has you nodding aggressively, like you're at a Kendrick concert, then you need to check out my Speak with Swagger challenge. Because knowing your worth is one thing, but asking and promoting yourself and getting paid your worth, that's the goal. And you can get all the details at lizmayercoaching.com, #swagger. Or, yeah, hashtag? No. You know what I mean, /swagger. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be in the show notes. So let's get going. So, yes, barriers exist, but staying silent is not going to fix them. If we want to address the elephant in the Zoom room, yeah, systemic barriers are real. Yes, women get called bossy while men get called leaders. It still happens. And yes, Chad, your devil's advocate routine is annoying. And if you do it again, I'm going to pour Visine in your Monster Energy drink. I'm sure you can relate. But here's the thing: these are all circumstances. And though they are really annoying, they are not something that you can control. But here is the truth: the more you can see them as just part of the noise, the more you can rise to the occasion, even if the occasion isn't right and isn't ideal. I see these instances as part of the gig. And I'm not saying that you can accept or should accept this. What I am saying is to not stay quiet, or to not get stuck in just this pattern where you don't address the things that you want. Common behaviors that I see from a lot of my clients when they're in this situation is they complain incessantly about the circumstances that surround them, but they do nothing about it. Or what they might do is they might jump from job to job or boss to boss, and they're hoping that things change and things might get a little better, but then they end up encountering the same situation where they have to use their voice and they have to advocate for themselves, and they're just not prepared to do that. If you don't speak up, you 100% of the time won't get what you want, okay? If you don't advocate for yourself, nobody's going to slide into your Teams chat and just magically give you a raise. And if you don't set boundaries with your time and with your energy, your calendar is going to quickly become a never-ending circus of quick meetings that are neither quick nor necessary, nor require actual meeting energy and time. So the reason I'm sharing this to you is, while the system you're a part of may be a complete hot mess express, you have the power to navigate it strategically. All you have to do is learn different skills and use them. The system isn't perfect, but your silence guarantees that nothing changes. You have to really ultimately learn how you're going to work through these obstacles, anticipate them, and handle them, just like you would any other thing that you've learned and overcome. Okay, so Shakira's hips don't lie, and neither does data. What I mean when I say that is, women who speak up get the money. They get what they want. You know, I don't love doing like just general feel-good pep talks. I'm going to share with you the actual facts. negotiating is going to equate to more money. Did you know that only 7% of women negotiate their first salary? Meanwhile, 57% of men roll up like, yeah, I'd like an extra 10K and a corner office, thanks. And I'm not exaggerating. 57% of men negotiate, women don't, only 7%. And guess what? The women who do negotiate, they get an increase just for asking. Okay? So if they ask, the chances of them getting an increase are more likely. Now, to get extra spicy, there's a book out there called Women Don't Ask. And this book says that women who don't negotiate lose up to $1 million in a lifetime of earnings. Yeah, $1 million. I shared a similar stat in my last podcast, but I just cannot with this, okay? And neither can you. $1 million. That's a whole mansion in some states. In Ohio, it's maybe like 1.5. Maybe it's like 2 weeks of rent in New York, but you get it, okay? Can you afford to leave that money on the table just because you don't want to be perceived as aggressive or you don't want to make things awkward? Additionally, visibility equates to more promotions, okay? A Harvard Business Review study found that people who actively communicate their wins get promoted faster. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, and we talked about this in a prior episode, my work should just speak for myself or for itself. My work is, what is my proof? Yeah, no, okay? That's like being at home and baking an amazing cake and expecting people to just know about it without tasting it. You got to serve the damn cake. So you have to start talking about your contributions, okay? You have to start doing it in meetings. You have to start doing it in emails, in your performance reviews. Yes, it might feel weird, but I know you and I know you have no damn problem hyping up your friends, okay? Or telling your kids that they're doing great work and being able to list all the wonderful things about your loved ones. So do it for you. Another fact that I want to share is while we talk about burnout a lot, speaking up actually equates to less burnout. If you ever felt like you're doing twice the work and getting half the credit, this data point is for you. A McKinsey study found that women who set boundaries, ask for what they need, and push back on bullshit, and they experience significantly less burnout. So the next time you're about to say yes to something that makes you want to scream into the void, don't. Setting boundaries is not mean. It's self-preservation. So whether you're asking for something, whether you're saying no, whether you are advocating and sharing the work you've done, speaking up gets you paid, gets you promoted, and preserves your energy. Silence gives you nothing, okay? You get ignored. So now that hopefully I've convinced you the power of your voice in these environments that might not be conducive to your growth, now I'm going to tell you about what you're going to do to speak up without the cringe factor. Now, I could tell you to just be confident, but that is dumb, okay? If you knew how to be confident, we wouldn't be having this conversation. The truth is confidence needs practice, like a round off back handspring back tuck or your 7-minute mile or your overhand serve, right? You practice those things if you played sports ever. Confidence takes practice too. So we're going to start thinking and talking about confidence as a skill, as something that you will work on and something that you create, not just an inherent personality trait that you're born with. Because the truth is, with confidence, the more practice you get in, the more reps you get in, the easier it gets. And the way you practice confidence is to make sure that you are talking to yourself in a way that provokes feelings and emotions of confidence. So let me tell you what I mean by that. I had a client and she had a resume that was mwah, chef's kiss, okay? But she always doubted herself. And it was because she wanted an MBA, okay? Everybody at the table in the meeting she was in all had MBAs. And so she always doubted herself for not having a master's. Now, forget the fact that she was managing hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing investment, and she had won company awards and had industry recognition, and people loved working for her, not just her peers, but her team. And yet she did not feel confident, and it was because she did not say confident things to herself about herself. So, what we worked on was recognizing that if she wanted to have confidence, if she wanted to be confident, if she wanted to feel confident, she needed to speak to herself in a way that evoked a confident emotion. Okay. This is not something that comes naturally to all of us, okay? It takes practice, it takes a vigilance, and it takes consistency. And if you have time to log in to Instagram or you have time to watch Netflix, you can take 5 to 10 minutes a day and practice believing in yourself by examining what you say about yourself and really getting clear on what you need to and choose to believe. So, my advice to you and what I worked on with her is to practice a thought that evokes confidence, like, I got this, and say it over and over and over again, like you're memorizing lines in a school musical. Okay? It needs to become a habitual belief. And the only way it's going to do that is if you repeat it. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to use data, not just vibes. And what I mean by that is when you're presenting, when you're sharing something, I want you to work really hard on facts, okay? Sometimes we have the tendency when it comes to speaking about our achievements to say things like, we did really great work, or to say things like, I'm really proud of this, but then not digging any deeper. I want you to lead with the data. I increased sales by 30%. Boom. Okay. I was able to drive efficiency this much. Boom. Our efforts led to this result. Boom. I want you to create receipts. I want you to take a look at the results that you've delivered, and I want you to have those in front of you at all times, okay? And I refer to these as receipts because it's proof. An easy way for you to do this is literally to have a brag notes page in your planner or on your phone, okay? Where you literally capture on a weekly basis, a daily basis, these little wins. This can be feedback from, other teams. This can be quotes from individuals. This can be results. This can be efficiencies. This can be skills. If you're a mom, you had a period where you took pictures of your baby and you probably recorded pictures or little notes of that little nugget when they walked, when they ate solid foods, when they pooped in a toilet, okay? If you did that for that little love, you can do it for you. You need to celebrate your growth and you need to make it a practice. And the last thing I want you to focus on is really mastering the everyday interactions, okay? So if you're focusing on your thinking, if you are really focusing on those results and advocating for that, I want you to look at the day to day interactions as literally points of power for you, okay? So the small meeting, the presentation, the one on one with a peer, a boss, maybe someone higher up in your organization. I want you to get used to mastering those events to get what you want out of those events. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that every time you sit down with your boss, you need to be asking for something. I'm talking about using these points as practicing to drive influence and the impact of what you want. Now, you need to be intentional about this and you need to do some inside work, right? Like some of the skill building and the thought work. But I want you to start getting intentional with these interactions because honestly, work is other people, even if you're an individual contributor. I also have heard that hell is other people. So take your pick. Can you possibly connect with people and can you make it better and easier for you? Or are you going to avoid situations and create hell for you? So, the takeaway here is speaking up isn't about suddenly feeling fearless. It's about having a plan and getting reps in and getting practice. All right. That's all I have for you today, my friends. If this episode has you fired up, really has you feeling like you can take this on, then just imagine what it would be like to work together in my Speak with Swagger challenge, okay? This is where I teach you how to position yourself as that high value, badass professional who commands top dollar. I'm going to share with you the exact scripts to use in difficult conversations, and I'm going to teach you some techniques to pitch your ideas with confidence and authenticity so you are not only seen, but you can shine. Clients who go through this challenge walk away with more confidence, bigger paychecks, and career glow ups. And I want that for you. So just head over to lizmayercoaching.com. /swagger to sign up now. I have the link in the notes. And if you remember nothing else from today, let it be this. Staying quiet guarantees nothing changes. Speaking up strategically, confidently, and consistently opens doors you didn't even know existed. And I want that for you. And I'd also love to see you inside the challenge. I cannot wait to help you create the life that you love. Bye, friend. Well, hey, friend. Thank you for spending time with me. As a thank you for spending your very limited, precious time, I want to offer you access to a free masterclass on how to create personal and professional success without burnout. You can access the link in the show notes or head over to lizmayercoaching.com and click on the link to access this free masterclass. Thanks again for spending time with me, and I cannot wait for you to love your Mondays. See you, friend.